What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about 10 ways that Canadians and Americans are different. Because, to be honest, the reality is for many Americans, we just don't know much about Canada. And at the surface level, our cultures appear to be very, very similar. So today, I want to learn about 10 significant differences between Canada and America. So, with that being said, let's take a look.
Now let's start with some basic facts, and as this list goes on, we'll get to some more serious stuff at the end.
Okay.
Number one, we use kilometers per hour, not miles per hour. In fact,
yes.
you guys are like the only ones who use miles per hour.
What?
I mean, check this map out.
What? Oh my god. Yes, okay. I know that other countries outside of the United States use kilometers per hour and like the metric system in general. Like us American, it's funny because when you grow up in America, when you grow up here, you spend your whole life, your whole childhood, learning our imperial system of measurement in feet and miles and Fahrenheit. And then as soon as you take a science class in like high school, that's the first time someone is like, hey, there's this thing called the metric system, and everyone else uses it but us. And we're just like little American children, like, or I guess high schoolers at that point, but you feel like a child because you're like, huh? What? Since when? Who? Maybe that kind of also speaks to how sheltered we are in our little American bubble as well. That I didn't know anything about, like, liters. Like, what is that? But this is eye-opening. Like, when you look at this map, there's only, like, maybe four countries. There's a couple countries out there, like the United States, I see, that uses miles. There's a couple of us.
And also, we can do like 110 on the highway. You guys can only do what, like 60, 65?
110? That sounds so fast. Man, you have signs in Canada that's like 110. That would be crazy here, but it's kilometers an hour, I see. 65? No. You can go. You see like 70, 75 mile an hour sometimes, speed limit. Although everybody's always going like 5 to 10 miles per hour over the speed limits. That's actually considered kind of okay to do. Is it like that in Canada? Can you go... Is it acceptable to go like... Well, I don't know how much it would be. Can you go like 10 kilometers an hour over the speed limit? Or is there wiggle room? Or is that an American thing?
Come on, guys. It's time to join the winning team on this one. The second way...
I mean, also, just to... number 2 is temperature. Okay.
We're different is we use Celsius instead of Fahrenheit.
I was just about to say, I'm on board with the whole metric measurements thing. I think a lot of Americans are. When we learn about the metric system, it's based in units of 10, multiples of 10. Everything makes so much more sense. I'm on board. So I actually agree, like, the Canadian way is better.
Americans love their Fahrenheit. They love to say, oh yeah, it's so hot. It's 105 degrees out today.
Yeah.
No, it's not 105 degrees out today, or my skin would be on fire. It's like 36. It's
36. I'm still so bad at... I can't convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius. Like, I still don't have a good idea in my mind. Although I think, like, so 35 Celsius is very hot. So that's something I can remember. That's like 90 to 100 Fahrenheit. So both of those are hot. Okay.
It's Celsius. It's the thing that literally everyone else uses except for...
Oh, no.
Moving on to number 3.
See, I didn't know this was going to be like a criticism of the United States, bashing the way we do things here, I thought this was just going to be a fun little comparison between Canadian and American culture. Let's keep going.
Yeah, our money is plastic instead of paper. And I
Well, maybe this is going to be just stuff that's Canada does different that is better, because this is another thing. The Canadian money looks way better, way cooler. There's like pictures and color and stuff.
I know it looks kind of weird, and people are always like, "Is that real money? Like what?"
If you're an American, it's true. Like this money does look crazy, but in a good way, I think. It looks like, I understand where it looks like from Monopoly or a game, because Americans were trained to think like, oh, money is this boring color. It's not colorful. It's not exciting. It's supposed to look this certain way. And then Canada just comes in and is like, no, and just showers you in colorful, beautiful money made of plastic.
What is this? And I'm old enough to remember back when we had paper bills and they introduced the plastic ones.
Oh, Sonny, those
Really?
were crazy times.
And at first everyone's like, "But they're so slippery. Like we're not going to be able to." Actually, no, it's fine. It's money.
Slippery. Did people actually say it was going to be slippery? You're going to have your $100 bill and be like, oh, whoops. Like, like it's going to slip out of your hand? I don't know. That's just funny. So how long ago did Canada have paper money? I didn't know about this. When did this change happen? Canada went to like more plastic or whatever the material technically is. When did that happen? I thought it's always been like that.
Money. It works. It doesn't tear.
Wow.
I'm not going to test this theory too hard because this is a 50. But yeah, like it doesn't tear easily.
Wow. That's cool. It doesn't tear easily? I mean, there are just so many more pros to the Canadian style of money that I can think of. It looks more secure. It's got like the security features, the much more cool pictures. That's a boat. Got Canadian culture in there. It's different colors. Like, I don't know. Does it have any tactile feeling to it? Maybe that could help like blind or vision impaired people. That would really be cool. But just having these extra features, it's like, why? I don't know why we don't do that, to be honest.
At least. And also, like, if you forget about your money and it goes through the washing machine, it's fine. There's no way for water or heat to damage these bills.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that's another win for Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, what the heck? What's going on here? I didn't know this was going to be like a contest, but it's 3-0.
Oh, yeah, speaking of money, I mean, I know this is a minor thing, but do you guys remember when there used to be like that little copper-colored thing that was never good for buying anything, and it would just weigh your pockets down, and you'd always be like,
What? Do you remember? Does Canada not have a penny? I feel like I might have heard this. Does Canada not have a penny? That's what he's getting at, isn't he? Canada doesn't have a penny. That's what it is, right?
fumbling with them. Oh, yeah, pennies. Yeah, we got rid of those like 7 years ago, something like that.
Well, probably the most talked about item in today's federal budget is the extinction of the penny.
The death, how dramatic. The death of the penny. Canada got rid of the penny. Why? How does that work? Wait a minute. How does that work? Wait a minute. If you don't have a penny and you have something in the store that costs like 57 cents, how do you pay for it? In money? In coins? What? How does that? Are they going to explain this?
And at first everyone was like, nah, but we like pennies. They're like those cool little guys that hang out in our pockets and always like accidentally come out when we're reaching for our keys.
Yeah.
Oh, I like them because you see them all over the place. Finding things is fun.
But then we got rid of pennies and I haven't really missed them.
Really? Do any Canadians miss the penny? Do you even think about the penny? I think this would be such a big deal in the United States. I'm sure whenever this happened in Canada, it was kind of a big deal, and people must have been like, "Oh, that's the penny. How are they? They're probably talking exactly like I am right now. Like, how are we gonna pay for bubble gum if it's 67 cents?" But you stop thinking about it after a while, or but how does that work actually? Besides that, the penny is kind of obsolete. Like, I have heard that pennies get lost. It's a big waste of like copper as an element, and I mean, I could see the United States doing this, people being upset, but it working out after a while if we figure out how do you get change though?
I don't know. I don't really deal with change. I use my debit and stuff. So
Yeah, true.
Good point.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys should probably get rid of pennies. But believe it or not, this video is not just me giving Americans advice on how to live their life. I actually
Really?
do want to talk about some more serious cultural differences than just pennies.
Okay.
And to begin with, let's go to number 5. Everything is bigger in America.
Okay. Finally, we're getting destroyed here, America, where Canada is 4-0. Beating us even with the pennies, or maybe you can't beat us over the head with pennies. You don't have any, but metaphorically beating us. And this is finally something. Is he saying this is a good thing? That's the question. Everything is bigger in America. Is that a good thing?
12 yards long, 2 lanes wide, 65 tons of American pride.
Americans like to say everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess Texas is like the most American America to ever be America.
Kinda.
When I'm a Canadian,
That is actually a saying. Everything's bigger in Texas. Like, that might even be the state motto. I'm not sure.
and I go anywhere in the States, everything gets bigger. The roads you drive on become these crazy freeways with like 8 lanes of traffic.
Okay.
The food portions get bigger. I remember when I was a kid and my family took a trip to California and we went to McDonald's or something, and I was just shocked at how big the cups were. Do you
This is really interesting. This is really interesting. Hearing this from a Canadian's point of view, coming to America, and for me, all of this is just normal. Big roads, big highways, big food. I mean, I'm sorry, but I really like that about American culture. You do get a lot of food, and I never realized how big our cups are. But now I appreciate that a lot more. But we just get used to it. When you go to a restaurant, oftentimes you need to get a box or a bag to take the extra food home with you, because you can't eat it all, or it ends up just not being healthy. You try to eat it all, and you eat past the point of being full, and that's not healthy. And so I don't. It's bad for you, but I love it.
really need that much Coke before 11 a.m.? But yeah, it's America. Things are bigger. What can I say?
Okay.
And sort of connected to that last one, I have to say that America's a great place to be rich.
Ooh.
Probably the best place in the world to be rich.
Oh, this is interesting. This is number 6. America is a great place to be rich. What does that mean? That means that if you're wealthy, you can take advantage of all the things in America. You have a serious advantage. Although I think being rich anywhere is an advantage, but maybe in America more so? Or maybe he's also saying that being poor in America, like, it's a serious disadvantage in the sense that even though it's America and people feel like, oh, what an amazing place to live, or what a leg up you have over some other countries that are maybe struggling, but if you're poor in America, you can't really take advantage of a lot of the great things America has to offer. So I don't know. I kind of think this applies to any country. So what is he saying exactly?
The American dream that people talk about. Like, you guys are still the place that so many people around the world want to get to because it's where you can make it the biggest.
Okay. I think I get it. He's also saying that if you're rich in America, it's a great place to become more rich. Is that what we're saying? Okay.
You guys can hit levels in America that, I mean, not to diss my country, but we're just not at that same high level.
Well, I'm sure it's good to be rich and this is such a funny conversation to even have. It's like, hey, it's good to be rich. Yeah, no kidding. That's good. Turns out that's nice. No matter where you are. But in Canada, like, there's a smaller population than America. There's a smaller economy. So you are limited in that sense. I think that's what he's saying. If you're wealthy in America, you can take advantage of our capitalistic economy and earn even more money. So, something like, I don't know. We're really splitting hairs here. It's like, yeah, how rich do you want to be? It's like, what an interesting problem to have.
With that being said, I think Canada is a great place to not be rich. I don't mean it's a great place to be poor. I just mean if you're not at that highest level, I think like middle class life is probably better in Canada than in the United States.
Ooh. What? That's a good one. I had not thought about that. It's better to be regular in Canada because normal middle class regular life is at a really high standard in Canada compared to the US. Yeah, and also like the divide in America, the middle class is really shrinking. So there's just more wealthy people, more poor people. The extremes are increasing where you really want the bulk of your society to be in the middle, I think. That's the healthiest. And Canada apparently has figured that out. That makes sense to me, actually. Huh.
We just have like government support systems, and we have a society that believes that everyone should have a basic standard of living.
Sure.
We pay more taxes and stuff like that. Sometimes like hardcore libertarians and people from the US think that we are completely socialist and think that Canada has gone crazy. That's one way to see it. The way we see it is just like people deserve a chance at a good life. And listen,
I like that. I don't know why Americans would criticize that. Taking care of the middle class people, emphasizing government programs and taxes and benefiting everybody. And most Americans couldn't even tell you where our taxes go to. Seriously. And I think that says a lot.
oh yeah, and another reason Canada is a great place not to be rich is free healthcare. Yeah.
Yes.
Little known fact.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. I like, this is such a good reason to be in Canada and also to be happy to, if you're a middle class or even struggling a little bit, it's better to be in Canada for this reason. Healthcare. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because the American healthcare system is based on you need to have a job so you have healthcare insurance, or you need to pay out of pocket for healthcare insurance. You need some way to pay for healthcare insurance plans. And even then, they don't cover everything, and it's a mess. And yeah, that's crazy. Whenever this gets brought up, I'm just reminded how insane it is. Yes, great point. Makes me a little sad to think about.
There was recently a law passed that means that Canadians have to mention free healthcare in any conversation with Americans or any discussion about Americans.
Yeah. I mean, it's justified. Like, I don't know. It's crazy because I don't know why America and Americans can't just look at Canada and see the Canadian healthcare system and be like, that makes sense. I've gone out of my way to watch videos on this exact topic, and I always come out thinking, like, what are we doing here? I don't get it.
So, free healthcare, free healthcare, free healthcare. Let's move on to number 9. And number 9 is Americans think that they are the center of the universe.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Is this something that most Canadians agree with? Is this a feeling that you have? This is really, again, interesting for me as an American to hear this Canadian perspective. Do we come across like we are the center of the universe? the one thing I do understand about this sentiment, as an American even, is that most Americans, myself included, don't know anything about the rest of the world. We don't know anything about other cultures. One of the main reason for the existence of this YouTube channel is for me to learn about Canada, our neighbor, and another country out there in the world, because it is so true. Americans, like myself, don't know anything about the rest of the world. And in that sense, we kind of, maybe you can flip it around and say we think we're the only thing that matters. We're the only country. The way we do things is the only thing worthwhile, the only worthwhile way of looking at things and doing stuff. And that is so completely wrong and counterproductive. So in that sense, I agree with this. I want to hear what he has to say.
I can already hear the angry comments coming down below, but hear me out on this one because I've given a lot of thought to this.
Right, I'm the angry American here. Hey, how dare you? No, I think it's totally good to have this kind of criticism. It's healthy.
As some of you know, I travel a lot. I go to different countries, and sometimes I'll be staying in hostels and stuff with many different travelers, and you meet people from all around the world. And when you do that, you introduce yourselves. You tell each other where you're from.
Okay.
And I've seen this situation so many times where you have one traveler who says, yeah, I'm from China. Another traveler says, oh, I'm from Germany. Another one says, I'm from Australia. I tell people I'm from Canada. And then an American will say, I'm from New Jersey.
Ooh. Oh. Ah. I never thought about it like this. So it's these little things that kind of tip you off. These little behaviors and mannerisms and the way that we talk about ourselves that lets you know we think we're the center of the universe. We don't say I'm from America. We say I'm from New Jersey. That's something you would say to another American. And it's also you're coming across as having the mentality that everyone knows about America, everyone lives in America, that you don't even have to call it America. It's like, yeah, I live in this state, I live in this town, like, duh, right? Everyone knows about that. And it's like, no, not everyone does. There's actually way more countries with their own regions and provinces and, towns and cities that they have the awareness to be like, I'm from Germany, like the country. Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing for Americans. Wow.
Or I'm from Ohio. Whereas no one else in the world does that. I would never tell a group of travelers that I'm from Manitoba because they don't know Manitoba.
Right.
Just like a German would never say they're from, I had to write this one down, Schleswig-Holstein.
Right.
It's a real place. Look it up.
Wow.
I do understand it. Like, this isn't a diss. I understand it because you guys are like the cultural standard, at least for the English-speaking world. Like,
I don't even think it's that we think. I don't think it's that we think we're the standard of the world. It's just that we're ignorant and don't know any better. Like, seriously, it doesn't. I think it doesn't go much deeper than that. I mean, sure, you're going to find Americans who are very, very Americanistic, very pro-America. Like, we are the best. America, America, USA, USA. Yeah, you're going to find those people. But I think most of it is just not even intentional on our part. I know that's not really an excuse, but it's just ignorance. It's just like, if I traveled somewhere in the world, I could easily make that mistake. Because Americans are just used to saying, like, the state or town or city that they're from. And most Americans don't travel outside of the United States. I think that's the big thing. Most Americans don't travel enough. We don't interact with other cultures and people from other countries. We never get that exposure. And that's why we act the way that we do. like very sheltered, I think.
So many of our magazines and our movies and our music and all this stuff is about America, set
Sure.
in America, made by Americans.
Sure.
Before I ever
This just reinforces our American bubble that we live in. If we were exposed to more, media and TV and news and just content from other parts of the world, I think that would have a great impact and influence on the way we view the world. But he's right. A lot of movies and TV and stuff is based in America or made by Americans, and that even further puts us in our own bubble, actually. So I think the rest of the world gets a good idea about American culture, but Americans don't have any way to experience other cultures around the world unless we put in the effort to do that. So there you go.
Before I ever visited Los Angeles, like I'd heard of Inglewood, I'd heard of Compton, I'd heard of Long Beach, because I listened to hip hop. I listened to Tupac and Biggie when I was in high school.
Right.
We have an understanding of America as non-Americans that isn't reciprocal.
Yeah.
And so I would say that Americans
Yeah.
have the spotlight, and for the most part, they like it. And for the most part, Canadians like not being the center of the universe.
I'm going to say there's some Americans who like being in the spotlight, but for the most part, most Americans are just ignorant to all of this. It's not that we think we're the only country and the best. It's that we're the only country that we are exposed to. That's the significant kind of difference I'm going to make from what he's saying.
Like, there's a lot of Canadian actors and famous people who you probably don't even know they're Canadian.
True.
People like this.
True. Yeah, it's the same with like British actors, Canadian actors. I always get shocked whenever I learn like they're Canadian? William Shatner? What?
Now I have time for one more rant, and it's going to be about something that I often hear as a Canadian, and it's that Canadians are so polite.
I'm glad he's talking about this. I want to hear a Canadian's point of view on this, because this is what Canada is known for. This is maybe a stereotype people have about Canadians, that you're very polite. Not the worst stereotype, to be honest, Is it true? I think so. I actually want to hear what he has to say.
Now let's talk about that for a second. Are Canadians more polite than Americans? Is there truth to this?
Oh, compared to Americans? It's gotta be, right? Gotta be.
Often repeated on the internet meme.
Do you need any help?
No, I think we're okay.
Okay then.
Happy Wednesday, you two.
I've been to America a few times, and I've met such cool people. So I know from experience that there are some really friendly and very polite Americans who are out there.
Yeah.
Southern hospitality, all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's totally right. Like, there's tons of normal, nice people in America. Like, of course. But I think we have the extremes of both. We have some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and some of the worst, meanest people you'll ever meet. It's just a wild swing. You never know.
But in Canada, it's just, there are little things that are socially, almost like socially acquired in a way that they are not in the United States. Like, if you bump into someone on the sidewalk, you say sorry. People always say Canadians say sorry. It's just...
Ooh, this is interesting. Different social norms. If someone bumped into you in America, they might say sorry. They might say, excuse me, which could almost come across as offensive because it's like, excuse me, excuse you, you bumped me. And then it's a whole, but in America, that's normal. Just like, oh, excuse me, or oops, or nothing at all. Yeah.
You don't want to offend people. I think Americans don't care so much about offending people. It's just like...
Yeah.
This is America.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that's it. That's my...
True. Absolutely. That's a great observation. Americans don't care so much about offending people. Americans don't care so much about how we affect other people that's a big thing as well, I think. In America, you're taught, like, watch out for yourself. Do what you gotta do to get ahead. Grind. You gotta be the best to make it, to beat everyone. And it's very much that mentality of, like, watch out for yourself, care about yourself, and I think that extends into our customs and our social norms, like he's saying. Like how we aren't as empathetic or caring about other people or how we affect other people, and I think he's spot on with that. That's a really interesting topic, actually. But this whole video was actually quite interesting. Very well done. This was by The New Travel. I got to give it a like because I like this quite a bit. This was real interesting, especially hearing from this Canadian's point of view. I really liked what he decided to choose as observations he's made about America and Canada. I think they were all like pretty accurate, actually. At least interesting discussion. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these different ways that Canadians and Americans are different. Your thoughts on these other ways that were different. That'd be very interesting to hear about, actually. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture and learning about Canada for the first time, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.